Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Nerding Out with Nic Bodiford. I am your host, Nic Bodiford. The date is January 1st, 2023. Happy New Year! We are going to be doing what we always do, recapping the week's previous games. But instead of talking waivers, actually, we will talk waivers for a little bit because there's some of you sickos out there who are still playing fantasy in week 18. But there are many of you who are playing DFS, and we can hit on some names that are going to be important. But we also want to give our Dynasty crew pertinent info as it pertains to 2023 and beyond. First things first, Dallas Cowboys 27 at Tennessee Titans 13. From the Dallas Cowboys side, T.Y. Hilton, he has been playing efficiently. I don't know if it's here to stay, but I think that he has earned our attention for DFS stacks moving forward this year. Tennessee Titans linebackers continue to be a little bit on the weak side despite their overall defensive strengths. Dalton Schultz got the job done. They have also had, the Titans that is, they've had a bunch of injuries. It's a huge bummer. So I think he's a second-year player, Elijah Molden, just a baller slot cornerback. He got hurt. I don't remember what it was, but he came back very briefly. He's a really cool player. He's a great coverage player, but he's just kind of a do-it-all fun player to watch. He got hurt, came back for a week, I think, and then now he's on injured reserve. Then they had their second slot corner, I think Roger McCreary was playing on the inside, and then they put him on the perimeter. He's the guy who you saw doing a cool like volleyball set. He caught the ball out of bounds outside of the end zone and flipped it back into the end zone so his teammate could catch it and get the touchback. Anyway, or maybe there was a safety. But the point is, Tennessee has struggled to cover linebackers. They're struggling to cover slot receivers. They had starting free safety Amani Hooker covering the slot last few weeks, but he was out this week, and so they didn't even have him. CeeDee Lamb, obviously, just doing CeeDee Lamb things. It's awesome. He's just solidified himself as a bona fide number one wide receiver in the NFL. Should be a first-round fantasy pick next year. Yes, he should. His per-play efficiency, his per-route efficiency is there. The target share is there. He wins from the slot, more so on the perimeter. That's fine. Malik Davis, rookie running back Malik Davis. We talked a lot about him. He earned a prominent receiving role playing alongside Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, and Damian Pierce at the University of Florida. He did take a backseat to Zeke on passing downs. Tony Pollard was out, but he was efficient just in all facets of the game. I think that Malik Davis has proven that he belongs in the NFL, and he should be added in 100% of dynasty leagues. The two backup tight ends, Hendershot and Ferguson, neither one is separated from the other one, but they have been efficient and effective when they need to be. And that's cool. Dallas might be without Dalton Schultz next year. So they are definitely names for the dynasty streets to be paying attention to. I can't remember Peyton Hendershot, Jake Ferguson, only got their last names here. On the Tennessee side of things, interesting backfield usage here. So Derrick Henry's out. Hassan Haskins was the clear lead runner. He played prominently on passing downs, but so did in-season waiver wire addition Jonathan Ward. Of course, Ward played very well on his limited touches, but of course, Julius Chestnut was fabulously efficient on the receiving game looks that he got. The Sacred Heart University alum, he looks like he belongs in the NFL. I'm very excited for him in the future. He should be owned rostered in 100% of dynasty leagues. Hassan Haskins, what came to mind for me watching him in pass protection was late Cincinnati Bengals career AJ Green after Andy Dalton would throw interceptions, where he's just sort of running around. AJ Green looked tired, but Hassan Haskins, just sort of in the same blurry mindset, looked lost in pass protection. Now, he ran the ball well. Good for him. Dynasty should be rostered, blah, blah, blah. But does not look like Haskins belongs in the field in passing down situations. Treylon Burks can be started with Josh Dobbs at the helm. He is going to start again this week. Chigozie Okonkwo is just an efficiency king. And I wrote up at the 33rd team in In the 5 things we learned article this week, I talked about a number of things, but one of them, I believe it was what I started the article off, was fantasy football tight ends who finished outside the top 12, but who are popping in various efficiency metrics. And so you'll find Chigoziem Okonkwo's data in there. I'm going to make you go to that article and actually get the data there, but I will tell you his position in his per route data is, I'm not even going to go there. The dude is, I think that he may have a stronger case than Kyle Pitts to be that number 1 tight end prospect currently in the NFL. I think he and Kyle Pitts are right there, neck and neck, but Okonkwo, Pitts is more proven, and so, I'm sorry, Pete. I know you're pulling your hair out now because I gave you a good clip there, but Okonkwo, I think he's the real deal. I don't think he just belongs in the NFL. I think that he can be a difference maker. I think he's really good. I think Kyle Pitts is a phenom too, but Okonkwo, super fun, exciting stuff going on there. So, moving along. Arizona Cardinals 19 at Atlanta Falcons 20. Trey McBride, breakout game. The buy low window is shut. I think you should be in contention for, or in consideration for DFS purposes. If you can still get him in Dynasty, I'd do it, but probably going to be really hard. Corey Clement replaced James Conner, who suffered a fourth quarter shin injury. He is labeled day to day. Cliff Kingsbury lies about everything. So I kind of think that James Conner might not play this week. We'll find out. I bet it's probably a shin contusion, which can be hard. Contusions are like bloody bruises. They're not good. I was surprised that Keontae Ingram is not the primary guy. I would monitor the news heavily. Right now, Corey Clement looks like he might be the starter in week 18, but Keontae Ingram would be my preferred guy there. On the Falcons side of things, Tyler Algier is just a freak running through contact. I love it. He maintained a lead on passing down rolls, but Cordell Patterson was very involved in the passing game overall, which was bizarre. Moving on. Drake London, per play efficiency, just fantastic. Just didn't get it done in the box score. And same with Cordero Patterson, very, very efficient on a per play basis. Chicago Bears 10 at Detroit Lions 41. The Chicago passing game, I'm not going to read the word I used in my notes here, but Justin Fields looks like one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. He runs the ball a lot, I know, but he's also very aggressive throwing downfield. They need to get pass catchers. They need an influx of talent, and that isn't just getting an X receiver to play alongside Darnell Mooney. They need to commit to Justin Fields. On the Detroit Lions side of things, I got ARSB as a Haas in the notes here, but you already knew that. You didn't need me to tell you that. Jameson Williams got some creative usage, took a carry 40 yards down the field. That's very cool. The backfield, surprise, surprise, was a 2-man show. Justin Jackson was a surprise, inactive. Unsurprisingly, Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift rocked the friggin' house. Jamal Williams, he kind of has that edge in scoring position. Craig Reynolds, unfortunately, was involved in passing downs. DeAndre Swift, was the featured guy there, but Craig Reynolds took a lot, which was kind of surprising because he was almost actually cut by Detroit on Hard Knocks because he kind of has a first and second down profile. Jacksonville Jaguars 31 at Houston Texans 3. I didn't even take notes for the Houston Texans because they are not worthy of notation. Except shout out to Desmond King because he's having a great year. Chris Moore is just not it, guys. He got hurt, I know, but it's not it. You need to get off that hype caboose. It was very small, steam engine, whatever it was. Jacksonville, as soon as they were able to bench their starters, they did so. Travis Etienne he carried the ball like 13 times for 109 yards, touchdown. Just a fantastic showing. Very quietly, over the last 2 weeks, Travis Etienne has produced a highly efficient per play receiving profile. Very cool. I think that if you can buy low in Dynasty, I think he's starting to put it all together as a dual threat guy. And I know I was just recently talking about maybe the foot issue nagging him. Looks like last week might have been the tip of the iceberg in a good way. I think that he's entering true bell cow form, and I think that it's a glimpse of Warlocks to come in 2023. He and Doug Peterson working their wizardry. Oh yeah, and really like Travis Etienne, he the concern with ETN entering this year was whether he could be an efficient ball carrier, not that he would struggle in the passing game or struggle to develop in the passing game. I just do want to make this clear. He has now been really killing it on the ground. And so that is awesome. Good for him. I think he's the real deal. Denver Broncos 24 at Kansas City Chiefs 27. Chase Edmonds, big time meddler here. He is just all over the place, messing up the Latavius Murray short-lived shenanigans. On the Kansas City Chiefs side of things, the running back workload was dispersed. It was highly efficient, and you should just be happy if you got one of these guys on your team because they probably did some really good stuff for you, especially with the position that you drafted them in. Both guys are very live in week 18. I think. I actually, maybe not. Maybe just be Pacheco. But yeah, follow the feed. Sky Moore was, I think, playing fairly well, but he suffered a hand injury in the fourth quarter, did not return. Kadarius Toney, straight monster on the per play efficiency stuff, like salivating goodness. So that's awesome. I know he fumbled. They need to just, I don't actually recall if the fumble was on kick returns or not. Stop having the hamstring guy return kicks. Just let him do his thing in the receiving game. He is so good. I think it was 4 catches, 4 targets for like 71 yards. He is going to win people some money in DFS this week and the rest of the playoffs as they win the Super Bowl. Miami Dolphins 21 at New England Patriots 23. Teddy Bridgewater dislocated his finger. Don't think he broke it. I think he can play. Jeff Wilson Jr., interestingly, took the lead on passing downs, but Raheem Mostert was the dude who was earning targets. Jeff Wilson Jr. also, I think, out-carried Mostert fairly significantly, but they got the job done. They were both efficient. Wahoo. Jacoby Myers on New England Patriots. Jacoby Myers played very well. Hunter Henry played very well. Damian Harris comes in like he just deserves to take the work of Ramondre Stevenson, and he does that. He does that. They basically split both early down scoring position and passing down roles, which is absolutely insane. Don't know what the heck they're thinking. Indianapolis Colts 10 at New York Giants 38. Nick Foles badly injured. Kayvon Thibodeau, you lost a fan in me, man. I thought you were a cool guy. You are not. Don't like you. Zach Moss has a full-time role. He is inefficient because he is bad and the offense is bad. Nick Foles will not play this week, by the way. It will be Sam Ehlinger starting in week 18, and he cannot be trusted. New York Giants tatted these guys all week. Richie James Jr., boom, touchdown, big game there. Isaiah Hodgins got it done. I think it was 42 yards touchdown. I think they both hit at least 4 receptions, but it was just like, it's so much fun to see these guys who are unheralded get the job done. And, wrote both of those guys up. Shout out to my editor, John Owning, who's just a friggin' man. Wonderful person. If you're not following John Owning, you should go follow John Owning. And if you like Cowboys stuff, you definitely should go follow John Owning, but he's just a phenomenal person. He allowed me to write about Richie James Jr. and Isaiah Hodgins in the wide receiver cornerback matchups to target and avoid article. They both hit. Woohoo! Dan Bellinger didn't get it on the box score. His per play efficiency was all right. I'm still holding out hope for him. He'll be a guy that I dig into this offseason. New Orleans Saints 20 at Philadelphia Eagles 10. Taysom Hill, 14 carries. Alvin Kamara, 16, and only 1 target. Taysom Hill, I think he completed 2 of 2 passes too. He's going to close the season scoring double-digit PPR points in 4 straight games. We need to keep this in mind for 2023 because I think Taysom Hill should be just in the tight end 1 conversation, not tight end overall number 1, but like I think the guy just deserves to be drafted as like the tight end 7. His profile is so friggin' unique and everybody sucks so much in that position. Rashid Shaheed gets the job done because he's a baller, because he's the real deal. He did that against James Bradbury and Darius Slay. I actually haven't seen his slot data, but I did see, I was right. I wrote about this in the same PFF article. Chris Olave did handle the lead, a plurality of slot snaps for The offense, he started off really hot. He was at 3 catches for 30 some yards in the first quarter, and then he only caught 1 more the rest of the game. It was really aggravating. Juwan Johnson, very efficient tight end, loving it. We're happy to see you grow. Philadelphia Eagles just kicking ass. Devontae Smith, he's going to finish as I think he's going to finish as a top 12 PPR wide receiver. We need to ignore the conversations about BMI. There are certain things that we can see in prospects, and I don't mean see literally. I'm not going to go film guy on you. They're although he looks like a baller when he's playing. The per route efficiency metrics, like when they're popping in those models, especially, I know he was a little bit older, but like when we do have young guys who are showing up in yards per out run, targets per out run, and if you go follow the man Jax Falcone at Dino Game Theory, he's got his anatomy series, which is so good. You guys all should go follow it. It's not the data there is not complex. A lot of it you can get from free resources. There are a lot of things that tell us guys are good. And I know that he's slender, but the Slim Reaper, he is here to stay, excuse me. And I screwed up that line. Carolina Panthers 24 at Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30. The Carolina rushing attack just, oh my God, stubbed all of their toes. I can't believe that they flopped in this one. They've been so aggravating in that regard, but they did. And, but I didn't, so it doesn't. Yeah, too bad. Dante Foreman. Now, Chuba Hubbard did get the job done in the receiving game. Props to him. DJ Moore, cruising, killing it, loving it. Sam Darnold, I hope they just, get rid of everybody on this team. Like, send DJ Moore somewhere else. Send him to Green Bay. I don't care. Even if they've still got Aaron Rodgers is great. Send him there, even if Dubs and Watson are for real. Like, let's just get him in New Orleans. Go to New Orleans. Try to get a new quarterback. Anyway, DJ Moore, you're a beast. On the Buccaneers side of things, Tom Brady decided to play. Really irritated with him, with Byron Leftwich and with Todd Bowles. My God. I still have not forgiven Byron Leftwich's not knowing what EPA is and then is dismissive for anyway. Whatever. You're not here to hear about that. The offense, they do some good things by accident. It's run stupidly. Running backs, the Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White, they just split the passing down work. They split the passing downs. Lenny, he does not look like he's in shape, but he is. He's the lead guy there now. Cleveland Browns 24 at Washington Commanders 10. Yeah, I don't need to tell you about Nick Chubb, being good. He's good. Blah blah blah. Deshaun Watson, he got his rushing workload up a little bit. He threw some touchdowns, but it was like that yardage total is like 160 some yards. It's not usually going to lead to 3 touchdowns. We'll see where he goes. Maybe a DFS play. I think it'd be really difficult to start him if you're playing in week 18. I don't know. I'm not rooting for him. Amari Cooper, dude, very efficient. Not a big time target outing, but very efficient. Brian Robinson was just hysterically inefficient. Talked to Josh Larkey about him a bunch in our stream, our live stream on Sunday mornings. He's just getting the work. Doesn't matter. We can look at this per play stuff and it's whatever. Like, this is where the running backs don't matter thing falls into place, where the guys, I think that Brian Robinson is a good rusher. And I'm rooting for him like nonstop. But it's a great example of, even if it's like an inefficient rusher, if he has the role, then like you're not worried about it. Jonathan Williams is involved. He's not very good. Antonio Gibson, I think he's got 2 injuries right now. I don't think he's going to play this week. We'll see. Carson Wentz has just locked onto Logan Thomas. And this was something that I actually, I don't remember where I wrote about this. It might've been a PFF. It's just like as a writing up another player. Oh, I think I recommended sitting Curtis Samuel. Yeah. Carson Wentz loves him some LT3. So that sucks for all of the other pass catchers, including Terry McLaurin. What a clown show. I don't know if you guys saw a reporter asked who the quarterback would be in week 18 if the team was eliminated, the Washington football team, from the playoffs this week in week 17, Ron Rivera looked confused before asking, "We can be eliminated this week?" Dan Snyder's awfulness. I mean, he must be keeping Ron Rivera there because Rivera can do dumb things like this, and then it takes some of the flack away from Schneider. And maybe Rivera is happy to be playing there because he's got Dan Schneider just being like one of the worst people in the NFL, and so he can just do dumb things and then not get called out for it. Anyway, just a fireable offense, like on the spot. San Francisco 49ers 37 at Las Vegas Raiders 34. Brock Purdy, say this every week, efficient passer, comedy show, inefficient rusher. He started at 5 games now. He's finished with negative rushing totals. He'll punch one in at the goal line. Outside of that, he's like a better bet for -2 yards than he is for +10. But I'm rooting for him because, hey, it's a super cool story. It's a great team. Whoever doesn't love the 49ers, that's your own damn problem. Stop rooting for laundry. You should go appreciate that team. Brandon Ayuk got the job done, which is awesome. I didn't think he would, only because the Las Vegas Raiders are down. They lost coverage linebacker Denzel Perryman, who is in the middle of a career season. They lost him for the year. I don't remember. I think it was a dislocated shoulder. He's out for the year. So I figured that Kittle and CMC would just crush it through the air. They did, and Brandon Ayuk succeeded. So nice job. Jared Stidham just locked onto Devontae Adams. Super sick. I don't remember who Vegas is playing this week, but like Stidham deserves more quarterback 2 consideration than I had believed that he did last week. On the tight ends, though, Darren Waller was soundly outsnapped by Foster Moreau. And the snaps have been a problem for Waller since he came back, but he's getting the job done. He's playing really efficiently. I kind of think that Foster Moreau will be the starting tight end there in 2023, because I don't think that Waller, he's either not under contract for next year or he's an easily cuttable deal. I think that due to his talent, you can just keep starting him. But I think they're trying to find out what Foster Moreau offers. Now, of course, if Waller's just earning targets, then don't sweat it for this year. But yeah, anyway, New York Jets 6 at Seattle Seahawks 23. Ty Johnson comes out of nowhere, makes me look like a jerk after saying that Zonovan Knight should be the lead back because he should be, but Ty Johnson was given the lead role. Don't want to talk about it. No, I mean, no one did anything, but he just, flailed on a handful of more touches than Zonovan Knight did. Tyler Conklin, we got some live stream questions earlier in the you know what? I think so. It was Sunday morning at the 33rd team live stream, and someone asked, I think, is it crazy to bench Darren Waller for Tyler Conklin? My answer was no, it's not crazy, because the Seattle Seahawks are one of the worst tight end coverage units in the NFL. And I believed in Mike White. Now, I actually think these guys finished relatively closely in scoring on the week, because Tyler Conklin got it done via receptions and yardage, and Darren Waller, he scored a touchdown. I'm actually just double checking this because I want to make sure. I've got PPR scoring going here. So in full point PPR, Tyler Conklin was the tight end 8 with 14 points, and Darren Waller was a tight end 5 with 16.2. So yeah, I'm going to take it as a win. I mean, I said I would personally start Darren Waller, but no, it's not crazy to start Tyler Conklin, because you can start tight ends no matter who they are against the Seattle Seahawks. Ken Walker did his thing. Ken Walker moonwalked all over the Jets. Colby Parkinson, he's a name that I talked about in the 33rd team 5 Things We Learned article. Go check him out there. I just mentioned him briefly. He's just showing up in a couple of Nito Kino metrics. Tyler Lockett was a decoy. And I'm actually just double checking that article to make sure. Yeah, I did. So this one, that article, by the way, it was a good read. Talked about the Giants wide receivers, but I also just broke down the positions, like what worked in 2022 and what didn't. And if you guys, want to know what kind of quarterback you need to draft or whatever, what type of tight end, how the rookie running backs did, I broke that all down there. Please go enjoy it there. Patrick Mahomes is just a supernatural being. Minnesota Vikings 17 at Green Bay Packers 41. My notes for this one are both passing games effed up. And AJ Dillon, interesting usage here. So he was the guy in scoring position over Aaron Jones, and he was more prominently featured in the passing game. It is my suspicion that Aaron Jones is dealing with an MCL sprain and a high ankle sprain. I think that I wrote about that one at 4for4 in the running back starts and sits. But basically, I talked a lot about this with Jeff Mueller, at JM Thrive PT. I tell you guys every week, that dude he's smart. He is very nice. He will get back to you. Aaron Jones has been on the injury report since week 10. He's had a couple ankle issues and a knee. Just MCL sprains and high ankle sprains. The mechanism of injury is the same, meaning it is outside pressure directed inward on the lower leg. That's what does it. And so if you just think like, you're dancing your busting moves and you want to do a knee drop. And so you drop down with your knees inward and your feet kind of splayed outward, like in a V shape towards the back. That's kind of the direction that's necessary for an MCL sprain and for a high ankle sprain. And so I think that they oftentimes will happen at the same time, and teams will list guys. I think that they'll kind of forget which one they're lying about, because there are times like Mark Andrews earlier this year, for 2 or 3 weeks, he was being talked about as, it's just the ankle. Oh, it's just the knee. He also had a shoulder thing going on, but he was being like, 1 week he was listed with the ankle. Well, they're talking about the knee. And then the next week he's listed with the knee and they're talking about the ankle. So I think these kind of like grade ones can kind of happen and they'll just keep playing through. I think that's what's going on there. So AJ Dillon, I think he's going to keep being efficient. Aaron Jones is playing though. Los Angeles Rams 10 at Los Angeles Chargers 31. Cam Akers, he got the job done against, the worst run defense in the NFL, like we kind of thought he would. Now, they have been a little bit better as of late, but still bad. Malcolm Brown, of course, though, vultures the long touchdown run, I think from like 21 yards out. Josh Kelly, all I've got for the Chargers, you already know, the beasts are established there. Josh Kelly then ran very efficiently. Good for him. Cool. Pittsburgh Steelers 16 at Baltimore Ravens 13. The Pittsburgh running backs just pummeled Baltimore, who was without do-it-all defensive lineman Calais Campbell due to, I think it was a knee injury. I kind of think that Calais Campbell may be out for a little bit, and running backs going against Baltimore's otherwise decent, I think, run defense are probably going to have some pretty good outings. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, they split passing down work, but Najee was the guy in scoring position. On the Baltimore Ravens side of things, only thing of note here, I mean, J.K. Dobbins, he's running well, he's doing his thing. Justice Hill was the passing down guy, and it wasn't really close. He also, for whatever reason, led the team. They didn't have a lot of scoring position stuff, but he was kind of the guy there. It's a little bit weird, but anyway, that'll do it. So, for me, moving forward, here's what's going on, folks. You got some updates for y'all. I will continue podcasting for indefinitely. The season will go where the season goes, but there's always still going to be things to talk about. So please, don't stop lending me your ears. I appreciate all of my followers. I will continue to be doing recap articles over at the 33rd Team. You can check those out on Monday. I don't actually know if I'll have one for week 18, but I will be covering the NFL playoffs in a game recap capacity, not just for fantasy, but just for NFL coverage generally. I will still be doing my 5 wide receiver cornerback matchups to target and avoid, and the DFS cheat sheet over at PFF. Wide receiver cornerbacks comes out on Fridays, and cheat sheet is coming out Saturday. Sometimes the schedule gets altered a little bit, but that's generally it. Those pieces will be going for DFS purposes, underdog purposes, whatever. Those pieces will be running through the Super Bowl. But yeah, keep coming back, keep listening. We appreciate you guys so much. Hit me up on Twitter at Nic Bodiford, NFL, NICBODIFORD. NFL. Hit us all up at NerdBall FF. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. We'll talk to you guys next week. Later.